everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So, Edge of Eternities spoiler season is here, and apparently leak season as well. The set comes out, I believe, on August 1st, and all will be revealed eventually. And we'll see what's real, what's not. I mean, most of these are probably real, even the leaks, so yeah. Let's jump into it! Yeah, basically, when it comes to spoiler and leak season, typically I would say that 99.99999, repeating of course, % of the time, the leaks are real. In space-time, Anomaly is one that I hope is real, and I think a lot of players hope so too. This is such a cool card. A sorcery for 4 mana in Azorius. Target player mills cards equal to your life total. That is hilarious. That is amazing. That is insane. Now, we already have ways, obviously, to, traumatize, basically. Okay, mill someone for half their library, all right? That's an amazing card, an awesome card, yes. This one, though, is even more variable in that, yeah, you can mill someone completely out with this card. There are plenty of life gain strategies out there that can very easily, very quickly get to an absurd life total. I mean, I'm talking about like 100 plus, and all of a sudden this is a one-shot KO on any player. Or, again, for a self-mill strategy, yeah, just be able to go, okay, I'm at 40, mill myself for 40. Perfect, amazing, setting yourself up for success there. But yeah, being able to just kind of utilize this as a win condition in a life gain strategy, lovely. Again, just very simply, even like a life doubling type effect, and then this equals player gone. Just player absolutely gone. Please be real. I assume it's going to be. But yeah, make sure you stay tuned to see if it actually ends up getting revealed. Next up, another potential leak, and apologies for the grainy type quality on some of these as well, and the like off-center approach to them too. But yeah, these are the best pictures we got of them. But Sledge-Class Seedship, which is an artifact spacecraft for 3 mana in green. It's got station, so tap another creature you control, put charge counters onto it equal to power, basically. Station is a sorcery. It's an artifact creature at 7+. It's got flying. Again, that's 7+. It's a 4/5, and it says, when it attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. So that is quite spicy. That is quite lovely. This is a card where, again, you're kind of storing up, basically, the potential for this to be a decent attacker. Again, at 3 mana for a 4/5 flyer, eventually, that's great. But again, obviously, the bigger part being, oh, this is just like Elvish Piper on a stick. This is just, okay, I'm attacking, which again, I've got an evasive creature that's great already, but I now can just cheat and play giant creatures. Yeah, you do need to have it in a deck where you can reliably get to that, 7+ pretty quickly. I would say you don't just want to like waste a bunch of mana, on these types of cards and just have them play like, eventually I'll get there. But yeah, doesn't take that much effort to actually get to that 7+. So yeah, once you do, being able to cheat and play giant things, it's going to be a good amount of decks out there. I mean, I can definitely see spacecraft/vehicle decks becoming a thing. But of course, this one you do need to have creatures in the deck to actually make it worthwhile. Yeah, big creature decks can definitely consider this one. Next up, yet another leaky spaceship. I mean, maybe it's not leaky. Like, maybe there's not a leak in the spaceship, but it's a leak and it is a spaceship. Spacecraft, whatever. It is a spacecraft for 4 mana in black. Entropic Battlecruiser. It's got station, and again, this time, 8+ is the number we're looking for. That being said, at 1+, we've got whenever opponent discards a card, they lose 3 life. That is massive, and there are certain decks out there that are just like, oh yeah, just with that literally is what I care about. Like, just getting to that. And of course, keep in mind again, kind of like vehicles, like when this isn't actually a creature, which again is anything below that 8+, essentially, right? So at that 1+, it's still not a creature. You can essentially just keep this in play, like, yeah, it's an artifact. It dodges like Wrath, board wipes, like Wrath of God style board wipes that take out creatures. And of course, this is like a giant Megrim for your opponents, right? It's like, okay, yeah, cool, all right, discard cards. Hurt you a ton. So yeah, and a wheel type strategy is going to love this. Discard type Tiny Bone strategy is going to love it too. That being said, 8+, flying Death Touch, 3/10. When it attacks, each opponent discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Yeah, that obviously kind of forces the issue in that way. And again, a 3/10 flying Death Toucher is just hilarious as well. It's like, yeah, here I come. I mean, you're not taking me out. And obviously, if you block, you're getting something taken out. But of course, forcing that discard, forcing that punishment. Again, you don't even have to get to that 8+, though, for this to be valuable. You definitely see discard decks, wheel decks, utilizing a card like this again, if it is real. Next up, some really sick art on this one, Beyond the Quiet. All right, so it's already quiet. Now we're beyond that. Is it even more quiet? I don't know. Sorcery for 5 mana in white. Again, yet another leak. Not officially confirmed yet, I don't believe. exile all creatures and spacecraft. So, yeah, basically a board wipe that says, okay, go away permanently. When it comes to, again, like Wrath of God type effects, typically it's at 4 mana, right? Typically, and that's destroy. Yeah, and Wrath of God's like, okay, get around regeneration, but still, that's kind of rare. At 5 mana, now we get to the exile type effects. This one gives you that, and spacecraft, it just depends on, like, in your meta, if spacecraft become a thing, if that really matters all that much to you. Otherwise, there are probably other better board wipes out there. Maybe they don't exile, but they're more like, not planar cleansing, but cleansing Nova type, like flexibility to them too. It's not that bad though. Again, if you really care about permanently getting rid of things, maybe if you've got like aristocrat style players in your meta as well, though they can obviously sacrifice in response potentially, but they might not be able to if they don't have like Viserys here. Yeah, make sure you're considering this card. And what I believe is the final leak I'm going to be discussing on this episode, and I'm hoping there's not egg on my face after this card and getting to the next card, but Famished Worldsire, here we go. Green 8 mana. That is exactly what I want to see. All right, now please, Wizards, don't just put like, draw 10 cards on it, because green. All right, 0/0 Leviathan in green. Cool. Ward 3 for 8 mana in green. Devour land 3. As it enters, may sacrifice any number of lands. Love it. And there's a 3 times that many counters on it. Love it. When this creature enters, look at the top X cards of your library, or X this creature's power, put any number of land cards from them on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Thank you for not saying put the rest into your hand. Oh my goodness, Wizards. Finally. All right. Like actually taking a step back, from like green just getting all the good things. This is sweet though. Again, basically based off its own power. So obviously like if you're building your deck properly, you probably have, 1 land for every 3 cards-ish. Now, obviously, if you've ramped a little bit, like, you're going to have a little bit less than that, maybe. But, like, yeah, you should have basically, 37 or so lands in your deck for the most part. And again, if it's a land-based deck, you're probably going to have even more than that. This is a giant threat. Again, Ward 3 is quite nice. Again, being able to protect itself with that, that's a lot to have to pay to actually target it. And, of course, on that ETB, being able to go, okay, yeah. Devour a bunch of lands. Cool. This thing's massive. Again, let's say you sacrifice 5 lands, all right? 5 lands. You sacrifice 5 lands. You can, work with 5 lands gone, right? You might even sacrifice all your lands and just go big risk, all right? It could be like, essentially like a, certain type of card out there that maybe costs 4 mana and then just replaces all your lands, and then you go get whatever lands you want. In a way, but being able to just go, okay, yeah, I sacrificed 5 lands, top 15 cards. Oh, I hit 5 lands. Cool. Again, it's any number of lands, so you can even get more than that. Obviously, there's times when you can get less than that, too, but you might even get even more than that. A landfall type deck might love this. Powers Matter type deck might love this as well. Obviously, with landfall, just being able to go, okay, ETB, giant amount of lands into play. Good for me. Get all those landfall triggers. Sacrificing lands decks as well, like Get Rog type decks. We're like, okay, I get benefits from sacrificing. Pretty sweet. I love this design. I think it's really sweet. And again, Wizards, thank you for not being like, put the rest of the cards in your hand. Ha 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 ha. No. Although it doesn't specify, like it says, look at the top. Okay, yeah, then shuffle. So there you go. That's what it is. So you're just shuffling at the end. Thank you, Wizards. Okay, moving on to confirmed cards. You can tell because most of these are actually like higher quality images, obviously. Again, there you go. All right, Thrumming Hivepool. Gross. Affinity for Slivers. A term I never thought I would see, and I'm terrified. Artifact for 6, but again, affinity for Slivers, so it's going to cost 1 less gas for each sliver you control. It can cost basically nothing, or nothing at all. Slivers you control have double strike and haste. Gross. At the beginning of your upkeep, create 2 1/1 slivers. So, here's 2 questions. Number 1, actually 3 questions. Number 1, are you playing a Slivers deck? Yes, you're gonna want this. My goodness, it's gross, it's disgusting. It is literally just a giant, amazing lord for your team that is probably free for you to play. You're like, okay, I play it for nothing. My team has double strike and haste. Good for me. Again, on your upkeep, you're also making 2, not even 1. You're making 2 slivers. Sliver Queen, eat your heart out. Anyways, being able to just go, okay, now I'm making more of them, which of course, get that double strike, get that haste, but obviously get all the other Lord Anthem benefits that all your slivers have too. Disgusting, amazing, insane. Number 2, are you playing a Changeling deck? If you are playing a Changeling or like Lord's Tribal deck, you might want to call it essentially like that kind of a deck. Yeah, also absolutely incredible with this. Again, can reduce the cost of it down to basically nothing as well because your Changelings are also Slivers, which are also Changelings. Anyways, not also Changelings, but they have Changeling. Being able to just do that, go, okay, now my Changelings have double strike and haste, and obviously I get 2 more Slivers too, which helps too. Good for me. If you got that Lord Tribal deck, have fun with it. That being said, third option, it's actually not just a bad token generator in general. Like 6 mana, yeah, it's a bit spendy for like an upkeep. I get tokens kind of thing just on its own. But again, those tokens are double strikey and hasty. And if you've got other kind of pump effects, if you got like a go wide strategy and you're like, okay, I've got like anthems and that kind of stuff as well, they can hit even harder. And of course, you're getting 2 every turn. That's a pretty good return rate eventually where you're like, okay, yeah, every single one of my turns I get 2 of those tokens. It's going to build up quite quickly. And keep in mind, of course, if you've got like token doublers, you got those kind of things, like those strategies might even want to consider it too. Regardless, overall, gross, amazing card. I am so scared of slivers. All right, buckle up for this next one, though. You know, spaceships buckling up. Anyways, Biotech Specialist, a 1/3 insect scientist. Look at me, I'm brainy, but also I've got an exoskeleton. All right, for 2 mana in Gruul, when this creature enters, create a lander token. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 to target opponent. And this one says it's an artifact with, well, for the lander tokens, I should say, pay 2, tap, sacrifice this tokens, which are life for a basic land card, battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Basically, repeat regrowth for landers. I mean, not repeat, but you know, if you've got more and more landers, they are basically regrowths, not regrowths. Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Rampant growth. Wow, it is early. Anyways, rampant growths essentially with those artifacts. So, here's the thing. If you can utilize that ETB again and again and again, there's not too many ways in this color combination, obviously, but if you have, say, white, or if you've got blue as well, you could blink it, that kind of thing as well. Maybe some reanimation effects in other colors as well, too. Being able to keep getting this back out and getting more of those tokens, or yeah, if you just got other ways to make more tokens, again, doubling season type effects, too. Obviously, ramping further is great. That being said, though, like, you don't even need that to justify this in a deck. Like, it's low to the ground, and it also, like, punishes your opponents when you're sacrificing artifacts, which, again, count, obviously, any kind of artifact, and most notably, obviously, treasures, because treasures are free to sacrifice, and, yeah, there are certain decks out there that are going to be like, oh, yeah, I just get, like, free ramp with this. I mean, not free, you gotta pay for it, but, you know, I get extra ramp for this, and I get to punish my opponents whenever I'm sacrificing any artifacts, including treasures. It's a finisher as well. So early in the game, it's like nice little ramp, nice little blocker for you potentially. But yeah, just like a finisher too. Definitely could see some play in certain decks out there. I mean, Corvold is probably just chopping at the bit for this one. Next up, Elegy Acolyte. Sweet art. A 4/4 human cleric with lifelink for 4 mana in black. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Again, notably, it is 1 or more. So again, max typically would be, okay, I've got 3 opponents. I draw 3 cards if I hit all of them. That being said, double strike does count twice, essentially, right? Because it hits, draw, hits again. Cool. So yeah, being able to do that, you could drop to 6 if you got double strike with 3 creatures on 3 opponents, or of course, extra combats. La 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 la. You get what I mean. That being said, you are losing life at the same time, but yeah, 1 life for 1 card, not a big deal at all. That being said as well, Void. At the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, create 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. Cool. I mean, being able to just go, okay, like in potentially like an aristocrat style deck maybe with some like evasive creatures, it could definitely help you with that. Or just, again, like an aggressive combat strategy where you're like, okay, I'm going to be getting through with the creatures. Like, some might get taken out. That's fine. I get to replace them as well. A very cool card. And it's got lifelink, too, to gain you some of the life back. What's scarier than a Goyf? A Goyf in space, I guess. I don't know. Cosmogoyf. It sounds like a really made-up name. I mean, Cosmogoyf. Anyways, okay. It's a star, 1+ star. There you go, as Goyfs do. Elemental Lurgoyf for 2 mana in Golgari. This creature's power is equal to the number of cards you own in exile, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. Okay, so this one cares about exile. Incredibly specific, obviously. But obviously, you could also make this incredibly massive for the right strategy out there. I mean, if you just, I guess, giant self-mill deck and then you Bajuka Vog yourself, there you go. This could be like the biggest 2-mana creature of all time. You're like, oh yeah, it's huge, big. Now, how many decks do you want to utilize it? I mean, maybe elemental decks, maybe obviously Goyf decks, since there's only a limited amount of Goyfs out there. It is pretty specific in what it does, but yeah, if you've got somehow, like, I like to exile my own things kind of deck, consider it as well. Big power. Moving on, Extinguisher Battleship. Some sick art on this one. A 10/10, eventually, spacecraft for 8 mana in total. When it enters destroy target non-creature permanent, then this spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature. So, a mini board wipe in a way, with also like destroying one thing. That's not bad at all. And of course, it is on ETB. There's no cast trigger requirement, so being able to go okay, blink it, potentially. I mean, obviously, if it's not a creature, it's a little harder to blink, and if you do blink it as a creature, then it, loses all of its counters on it, too. Or, I mean, I guess, if you're blinking at any time, it loses counters, but still, it could be a repeat mini board wipe in a way, which is nice. That being said, 5+ Flying Trample for a 10/10. Yeah, that's quite nice and quite easy to get it to become that level, obviously. So, yeah, if you've got, like, I don't know, ways to blink this, that could be a very good card for those type of strategies if you're willing to pay that mana value in it, or if you can, like, cheat things into play with it, too. Keep that in mind. That being said, yeah, just a giant 10/10 Flying Trample Spacecraft. Have fun. Moving on, we've got Land Planets, which is kind of crazy because it's like, all right, you know what? This is a forest. It taps for mana. Look, this forest is, I don't know, like a couple acres, I guess? I don't know. And it's like, I've got a planet, and it taps for the same amount of mana. Or maybe more. I don't know. Anyways, it's a land planet. Censor, Secundi, Void Altar? I don't know. This land enters taps for a black station, and it's got station for 12+. Once you get there, 1 in a black tap, pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, draw a card, duly sacrifice creature's power, activate only as a sorcery. That is quite spicy. That is quite amazing. That is quite nice. Are you willing to build this up, though, over time? That is up to you to decide. Depends on the deck, obviously. But, yeah, if you've got, like, a Power Matters type strategy, you're going to be able to do that quite quickly. And then you can actually just go, okay, it's at 12. Now I've got a massive draw engine off a land. Lovely. Works really well with Power Matters type decks. Works really well with kind of aristocrat style decks that actually want to sacrifice creatures, especially ones that have big power. It's quite a cool land. We shall see. Next up, Uthros, Titanic Godcore. What a cool name for a land planet. Enters taps for a blue. Again, station again at 12+. That's apparently the magic number. Pay a blue, tap, add blue for each artifact you control. Gross, disgusting, amazing, insane. Yeah, Tolarian Academy. Anyways, this is not Tolarian Academy, obviously. This is slower than that, but once you get there, yeah, I mean, it's going to have basically the exact same effect, essentially. Now, it does allow you to just tap for blue mana on its own, which is lovely, but you have to pay a blue into it, so you're losing technically like 1 mana compared to Tolarian Academy. That would be, so that one's banned. This is not. You have to work to actually get to that 12+, and again, in just a straight-up, like, artifact strategy deck, you might not have a lot of power to actually, like, throw around to actually get the charge counters on this necessary quickly. That being said, once you get it, you win, probably. You literally just have an insane amount of mana. Again, like, cheating out artifacts, getting a lot of arcs in play, is very, very easy, which is why Tolarian Academy is banned versus, like, Guy's Cradle, even though some might argue that should be banned too. Regardless, it is insane. What a crazy land. Expect to see it in artifact decks, most definitely. But now away from planets and back to spacecraft. Who ever thought I'd be talking about that in Magic? Anyways, the Eternity Elevator. You can now also have an elevator as your card in a deck. Ledger Artifact Spacecraft for 5 mana. Taps for 3 mana. Cool. Station. Tap another creature you control. Put charge counters on it equal to power. You know the whole thing with that. I don't have to say that every time. 20+, though. Tap at X mana any one color. X the number of charge counters on the Eternity Elevator. Again, now, apparently, right? Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong on this. Legendary vehicles and legendary spacecraft can be your commander, so your commander can be an elevator. Interesting. Again, Magic's gotten really weird. Yeah, being able to just have, like, a mana rock in the command zone is already quite nice. Or, again, just in a deck itself can be quite nice. Again, 5 taps for 3. That's, like, Gilded Lotus type numbers, basically. Obviously, Gilded Lotus, like, not filters, but fixes your mana, being able to tap for 1 of any color. That being said, still nice, obviously, being able to just tap for 3, especially in a colorless deck you don't care. But being able to go, oh, okay, yeah, get 20+, now the thing is suddenly tapping for 20 mana at a time. Of course, there are plenty of infinite combos with this as well, like Staff of Domination, etc., etc., etc. But being able to just go, okay, actually that untaps creatures. This technically become a creature. But yeah, being able to go, okay, yeah, this taps for an insane amount of mana. There are plenty of ways to untap artifacts as well. You're probably going to win if you get to that 20+. So yeah, look out for this one. It's disgusting. Moving on to Exalted Sunborn, a 4/5 Angel Wizard flying in lifelink for 5 mana in white. If one of our tokens is created under control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. Wizards, can we have a word? Come here. Stop! Cool, okay. Stop doing this. Yeah, we have way too many token doublers these days. They know that it's a chase card every single time they make one, and there you go. There's another mythic token doubler. It's insane. Oh, by the way, it also has a warp cost. You may cast it from your hand for its warp cost, exile at the beginning of the next end step, then you may cast it from an exile later turn. Basically, if you just need like a bursty turn where you double up your tokens, insane, you can do so for cheaper. Yeah, this is kind of insane, kind of crazy, kind of absurd. I mean, it is on a creature, unlike, Doubling Season, where, like, that's not on a creature. I guess it's like more like, Parallel Lives kind of thing, because it's doubling up tokens. But yeah, again, doubles up any kind of tokens, doesn't matter if it's creature tokens or not, so treasures. It's crazy, it's good, it's going to see a ton of play. Gross! Hey, the Eldrazi are back in the future. Anticausal Vestige. I probably said that wrong. Vestige. 7/5 Eldrazi for 6 mana. It says when it leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Then you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand on battlefield tap. It's got Warp 4. So yeah, you can just literally go, all right, Warp 4, it leaves. I paid 4 mana, it goes away, and then I get that trigger. So yeah, you can just cheat to play something potentially massive depending on, what part of the game you are in. That could be quite nice. Obviously, any kind of a blink strategy is going to want this as well if you can afford the 6 mana and you care about that. But being able to go, okay, yeah, all right. Well, actually, I mean, I guess you can get around the warp thing, if you blink it right, because you may cast your hand for its warp cost, you play it, it's in play, it exiles at the end step, but if you blink it, it resets that and says, oh, that doesn't count anymore. So basically, yeah, a blink strategy would love these warp type cards as well. And yeah, again, on leave the battlefield effects, LTB effects, this is pretty insane. Be able to go, okay, draw a card, cheat something in play. Draw a card, cheat something in play. Draw a card, cheat something in play. On LTB. What's not to love about that? Gross. Also, Eldrazi Docs are going to love it too. Gross. Next up, Astelli Reclaimer, a 5/4 Angel Warrior flying. Angel's getting some more support from this set, apparently, for 5 mana in white. Do you really need wings in space? Like, do you need wings in... There's no wind. There's no atmosphere. Like, you can't push against air because there's no... What do wings do in space? Anyways, when this creature enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card mana value X or less from your hand on the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature, and it's got warp for 3 mana. So basically, flexible recursion in a way, which is quite nice. Again, return target non-land permanent card mana value X or less from your battlefield. So either 3 or 5 depending. So yeah, being able to just go get something small or bigger, or again, both if you warp them, play from exile too. That's quite nice. Yeah, Angel decks are going to love it. Moving on, Haliya, Guided by Light, a 3/3 human soldier for 3 mana in white. When it or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain 1 life. Beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you gain 3 or more life this turn, it's got warp for a single mana. Note that it does say, for either those of you that want to build around this commander, you may cast a card from your hand for its warp cost. So you cannot do that from the command zone. So do keep that in mind. So warp is basically useless in the command zone, or as a commander. Let's go back to your hand at some point. Anyways, being able to just say, okay, I've got a deck where I'm gaining a bunch of life based on creatures or artifacts coming into play. That's a lot of life gain triggers. You can do a lot of crazy things with that. And again, on your end step, not every end step, this is not the gaffer, being able to gain a card off of gaining 3 life, that's quite nice. Yeah, pretty sweet for life gain strategies, and of course, as it is a commander. Some sick art on this one, though, with Nova Hellkite. Okay, here's a question. How is Cosmogoyf an elemental Lurgoyf, but this is just a straight-up dragon, but it looks like it's made out of stars? I'm confused. Wizards, somebody help me out. Why is this not also like an elemental or something spacey? I don't know. 4/5 dragon with flying and haste. Not that it need another creature type. For 5 mana in red. When it enters, deals 1 damage to our creature it controls, and it's got warp. This seems more like a standard type card. Like you might see it played in I mean, it is like you get him playing, you can swing it right away, and then you can replay it. So like Dragon decks could utilize it again if you have like Dragon ETB trigger kind of things. It's just really cool art though. Moving on to the Quantum Riddler, Batman's second greatest nemesis, a 4/6 Sphinx with flying. Not this regular Riddler, but I'm talking about if there's a quantum one. Like, I'm Space-Time Riddler. Sphinx for 5 mana in blue. When it enters, draw a card. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, if you would draw 1 or more cards, instead draw that many cards plus 1 instead. Cool. And it's got warp for 2 mana. So this is one where you could definitely utilize it in a really interesting strategy. Like if you have like that kind of like, oh, I'm going down to no cards each time kind of hand. Maybe a certain kind of fool commander likes that. No? Okay, anyone? Anyways, being able to just utilize this to like double up your draw in a way that's quite nice. Other than that, it's pretty specific. And there are Sphinxes out there that maybe draw even more cards, but this is really cool for the ones that are like, hey, you know what? Double it up on that circumstance. Utilize it. And the warp 1 in blue is quite nice too. Finally, though, Starfield Vocalist. Okay, I'll stop. 3/4 Human Bard for 4 mana in blue. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability permanent you control to trigger, it triggers additional time. Where have I heard that before? Oh, yeah, Panharmonicon. But actually, Panharmonicon technically not, more like Yarok in a way. Because this one actually affects every kind of permanent you have. Panharmonicon, notably, only creatures and artifacts, I believe, on ETBs. That being said, this says, hey, let's double up all the things. By the way, again, if you need to just get me in play for cheap, warp for just 1 and a blue, that can be a game-ending turn for you. So yeah, any kind of like ETB deck that wants to utilize those, I mean, landfall decks considered as well, just like 1-turn double up landfall triggers too, mostly ETB decks. But yeah, being able to just do that, and of course, again, with a ETB blink deck, you're probably only going to pay just 2 for this because you can just like, oh, okay, I warp it, I blink it. Cool. I cheated on the mana cost. Good for me. But yeah, being able to just do that, utilize that, pretty crazy, pretty insane. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.